Vocabio. Master English your way.
Exact shape of a protein, and if you enumerated all the possibilities, there wouldn't be enough time in the
joint probability distribution. If I could just enumerate every single possibility of filling, then that would be one.
Whether it was important to have enumerated rights in the Constitution, or whether if you were to
that were not enumerated in Article 2, Section 8 of the Constitution.
The SEC enumerates the filer's holdings of common stocks. It gives us
closely, but we don't overreact to any trend because
a little bit is overreacting when they find out that their child uses or.
It was a massive surprise, and I think we kind of overreacted because when I look back at my reports for the
keeping that perfectly regulated so it doesn't overreact and doesn't underreact, so it detects cancers, and so.
And the fallout of that made me think I was overreacting, right? Nothing bad happened to me. We can say that. I didn't.
Also wear the hats of other adjoining programs and complexities in the.
In a set of 5 adjoining but not connected buildings making up a large part of a city.
Hours, propping my laptop on an adjoining chair, trusting to the combination of cooling water.
Send us to the adjoining reception. You know, one thing that I'm struck by, not so much
connections into the adjoining spaces that were never actually constructed, the design archive.
Or whatever, you can't even watch without cringing. So what are the serious reasons that people...
And it's always like I cringe when I have to tell them that the publisher won.
When I sing happy birthday with a cringing 12-year-old as loudly as possible in the grocery store produce section.
Any politician steps on, it doesn't matter who it is. I just cringe. And,
me too.
Yeah, but you have to say something.
No. So I did not cringe at all because I knew that this was the need of the.
One of the things that I found myself doing was overcompensating until I got to a place where I'm like, I just got to be.
Roja's shell structure, they overcompensate in order to take care of the deformation. I'm trying to say
lose credibility and they think you're overcompensating for something crap in the bottle. So what we have done.
Caregivers shouldn't feel the need to overcompensate when they're working from home if they're all.
I think it made me overcompensate and become more macho because, you know, when something.
And how far we can go, and can we realign and readjust the needle to say that, no, this is actually a success.
Information to call 2024 a realigning election, the shift having started in 2020.
And is he going to follow completely and realign Washington with Moscow, or are there some risks?
Our domestic situation has been realigned. It does seem to be informing a...
That takes you, it just realigns everything. And I think it's incredibly important. And
Oxytocin negates the negative effects of stress to brain plasticity.
Hundreds of years, and we are just negating it, that it's an actual language. And that
is if you negate any seam, so part to whole, H-O-L-E.
Oxytocin negates the negative effects of stress to brain plasticity.
Vote for bad people too, but that doesn't negate the democratic idea. And I think on the...
In fact, it could even be formalized within a church setting by a priest.
And drinking together, you know, it's like, it's not this super formalized kind of, this one.
Powers a lot of what we do without even a formalized partnership in place, just by the tools and technology that you all have built.
More transparent, more merit-based. And so a more formalized sort of hiring process.
Working on a show, I want this to be formalized so that, again, the attribution is there and it can't be disputed.
Like tribal leaders, and everyone else would coalesce around them, around a desk, a trading desk in a bank.
The coalescing of design research.
Millions of decisions that coalesce institutions, but they're all as personal.
In our community as we coalesced as a political force, and lesbians were sidelined.
You know, coalesce in these protracted conflicts, just the opposite.
I mean, I guess just to reiterate our thank you for.
I was just going to reiterate the
interclass connectedness, and it wasn't students going to be coming, but I just want to just reiterate a few of the things that we are most proud of.
Your public library.
Sure. Well, first, let me reiterate, as I said, the council, particularly...
Video didn't project its sound. I just want to reiterate what was happening. The monkey had an implant.
Form, deepen, maintain good quality, wonderful, life-giving friendships.
Today about is the opposite. Can we deepen democracy, deepen engagement, because that is a more stable democracy?
Ingenuity and bravery that deepens American leadership in space, and we can't thank you enough.
Yeah, the things that they've gone through is really deep. And
the Allman Brothers are that for me.
Yeah,
like I'm from Georgia.
So to see them oftentimes because I'm enriched and deepened by these stories. So the question is how
demonize the pursuit of self-interest.
Sarah. You and others like you demonizing those who take a different view. You give
to the world. And demonizing China is not going to solve some of the deeper intractable issues.
Check myself and say, whoa, 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 am I demonizing the conservative voices in our country? Look at
engage in any self-analysis, because of course it's much easier just to demonize anyone that you disagree with.
I promised we wouldn't spend evening.
Pekin, Illinois, adorned the front cover of Time magazine.
Una donna. Okay, so there's fortune, but in
that adorn all the buildings, there are dozens and dozens of different gargoyles on all
of the landscape through the mosaics which adorn the signage pylons. Lovell Friedman, trained artist in the community,
claimed its ancient heritage by adorning its main square with heroic statues.
Try to get guys that were undervalued and could get on base and all these sorts of things, and these aren't
opposite direction, right? To undervalue rest than to overvalue it or to do it wrong.
That most companies are undervaluing, causing them to mentally disengage
from nature that we undervalue or haven't valued yet. Things like biodiversity, things like enhancing.
This is simply because teachers are undervalued in our society. A teacher does not simply deliver.
The picturesque is actually conflict pacified by, the picturesque actually...
De-escalate the power struggle as much as possible.
Yeah.
Pacify it.
But at this point, it feels...
as essentially a place to be pacified. They talk about the Pacific.
That Europe could be so straightforwardly pacified with only a couple of exceptions, democratic.
Coming to an end, he wanted to leave a pacified and quiet country, and so he punished
our university.
I have two wolves. One is fear and one is bravery. Which one will be stronger?
He saw some of them wavering and beginning to head to the rear. He saw
architectural sciences. He wavered throughout the next year, but stuck with it. That meant that Bond,
big powers, South Africa, Brazil, wavering or trying to be neutral.
Deemed safety critical, which allows us to very quickly iterate on the software on Astrobe. So we can come up with new ideas
and iterate and get feedback from your consumers.
EP phase to rapidly iterate among the different alternative measurement strategies in. After that,
because you don't have enough information, you have to iterate them experientially, and that's what design can help you do.
Feedback, but just something that we kept wanting to iterate on and getting some input from others to make sure that we kind of...
Far off. This is the world reborn. It's the first activism adventure game coming from Instagram. And that dream was reborn, and that opportunity and that choice to shift the narrative.
Now it was being reborn in the shape and aesthetic, both morally and...
My friend Kenji Hakuda is one of our board members, and in his culture that means that I've been reborn.
The Chinese Republic has failed and that feudalism has been reborn, but I hope that soon the feudal forces will be wiped out.
That tries to upend that dynamic.
Incredibly exciting. It's trying to basically upend the traditional college system and end the cycle.
So frankly, in my mind, an obligation to upend years and decades of disinvestment.
Is an example of what it means to upend business as usual. Okay, I asked a bunch of different
and says, I'm going to unleash one of my nuclear warheads, which we know he wanted to do.
What makes us human? It can unleash the best in human nature, selfless sacrifice for others.
Invaders from outside had unleashed sectarian enmities that previously had no outlet.
That will help you unleash your defiance and the defiant human spirit.
Getting in the room, as Susan said, and unleashing that innovation, that collective wisdom that Janet mentioned.
Vocabio, available in Google Play. Download, discover, improve your English.